So here we're set up in front of the fume hood with aniline. The reaction is going to be carried out in a 250 ml Erlenmeyer flask, and we're going to stopper it to minimize our exposure to the vapors of the aniline, which is the compound that we're most concerned about for health and safety. Thanks. I'm wearing a lab coat. Standard practice, all our first year students must have a laboratory coat to carry out labs. Safety glasses you will be wearing, they are mandatory. They have safety side shields. I've chosen to wear gloves. We will have them available for all the students if you choose to use them. But if you're careful, exposure to these chemicals, we've taken enough precautions that gloves may not be necessary. But if you feel more comfortable, gloves will be provided. As I mentioned earlier, aniline is the compound that we're most concerned about health-wise. We choose it to be the limiting reagent such that at the end of the experiment, there's none left over. We make the assumption that most of, if not all of the aniline has reacted to form the acetoaniline. So at the end of the lab, when we're starting to isolate the material and work with it in the open laboratory, there won't be any aniline present. As a limiting reagent, we'd like to know the mass of it. Now, mass can be calculated through volume and density. That's a standard calculation. But sometimes in the chemistry lab, it's nice to weigh it directly. To do that, I take a clean, stoppered Erlenmeyer flask. I put it on the balance, and I record the mass. You will be provided with report sheets, very similar to what we use with our students, where you can record data directly into it in pen as the lab proceeds. Typically in a first-year lab, the students can get great practice in manipulating chemicals, liquid, solids, and the like. Typically we use a bottle that has a graduated pipette, for instance. For today's lab, to streamline it to get students through in a timely fashion, I've attached a auto-dispensing pump for the aniline. Works very nicely. They're relatively delicate. You have to be careful with them, but they're very simple, and they dispense the liquid quite nicely. And it's just simply up and down and stopper. And I've dispensed what I previously determined to be very close to 2 mils. However, it's the mass that we're most concerned about, so we will reweigh the filled flask to determine the new mass. And I've determined, using the auto-dispensing pipette, I've accurately weighed my aniline, and I know it to be 1.94 grams.